Yo guys, it's Mike from Chess Lifestyle, and yeah, I better not walk away too far from this restaurant because I'm using their free Wi-Fi. Yeah, I've run out of mobile data. But yeah, I wanted to share with you my night in Osaka. This is actually my last evening or last night in Japan before I catch a flight to South Korea. And it's currently 4:26 in the morning. So yeah, extremely late, early, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, no, I had just such an amazing night, and I wanted to share it with you. And yeah, it was a real shogi uh, adventure. Let's put it that way. I mean, the plan was to meet up with my friend Nico, who actually I met through Chess Lifestyle YouTube channel. And yeah, he just left a comment and was like, "Yo, if you're passing through Osaka, then we should meet up." And I was in Kyoto, so I thought, okay, like we should meet up. And yeah, actually, my most recent upload, I briefly mentioned that yeah, it was even Nico's idea for the kind of content that I uploaded. But um, yeah, basically, Nico is mainly a shogi player, not really, not as much a chess player. Of course, he's definitely a competent chess and shogi player. Um, but yeah, we wanted to meet up one more time and just hang out and have some drinks, have some food, play some shogi, enjoy some music. This was basically the loose plan, and yeah, we met up maybe around like 8 p.m. and we went to get just a drink at a bar, and apparently a lot of the bartenders play shogi. And I ended up playing the bartender there, and he was really good, extremely good. And I was like saying to Nico, like, is this like the average level of your average bartender in Japan? He was like, yeah, they're pretty strong. But I managed to come up with like a very creative idea that just led to like an insane attack. And yeah, I managed to break the Yagura castle from the front, which is typically not what you're supposed to do because the Yagura castle is supposed to be very strong from the front. But I guess, I kind of brute forced it, and most players aren't probably used to someone trying to even attack because strategically speaking, it's probably wrong to do so. So anyway, I got away with it and I managed to win, and that's actually the picture of this video, right? And the bartender was super nice because I mean, there was like some amazing music going on in the background. I was like, fuck, like if I could have like, I was thinking like, oh, do I get like Shazam out or something? But I was like, I'm not gonna break the vibe for freaking Shazam. So I was just like, man, I'll just have to savor it. And that it was just such an amazing mixtape. And I asked him about it, and he was like, oh, a friend, gave him this mixtape, right? So I was just like, oh, it's so cool. And it's like so it was a mix of like some sort of old Western music, but also Japanese music. It was just such a nice mix. But the guy gave me a CD of the actual mix. I think he had some spares of it. So yeah, just a super nice gift. So yeah, great start to the evening. Like had my one beer. Got my first win, and yeah, basically me and Nico were heading to another bar, and at this bar, Nico had invited a guy who goes by the name Sensei, um, and Shogi Sensei, for that matter. So like a really strong guy, and Nico was like, this is going to be like your toughest test yet, right? And he was going to meet us at 10 p.m. there. We get to the bar a bit early, get a drink, just chatting. And one interesting thing was that, in this trip, like just to make things simpler, Nico referred to me as a chess professional, right? A chess pro. And, I don't really see myself as, a chess pro, especially in terms of like chess pro or shogi pro. I mean, like, shogi pros are basically grandmaster level. So when Nico's like gassing me up and saying like, I'm a chess pro, like people are like, wow, this guy's like, a pro. So no, I'm obviously I'm not a grandmaster or something, but I kind of rolled with it because, like I'm not gonna like sit there and like correct like, oh technically, I'm whatever, semi-pro or whatever. Anyway, so that was kind of the vibe. And he meant chess noob, average hater. Okay, I want to keep going with the story. I will answer everyone's comments very soon, but I appreciate the donation just because it, flashed up on my screen. Yeah, so basically, I'm at this bar, right? And I have my second beer, and Sensei comes along, and I felt like it was a bit tense at the start because it was just like he'd come here to play me essentially, and I was like, I don't want to like play a crap game of shogi and like waste this guy's time, right? But funnily enough, the guy at the bar who I played, like the bartender, we got the same exact opening again, except this time, I mean, the sensei guy was like playing it a little bit more carefully. So I just went for the same plan as I did against the bartender. I mean, if it worked once, why won't it work again? And he was making all kinds of noises like, what am I doing? But I realized, like, when I was doing my plan, it basically doesn't work. But he kind of bought it. Like I played this move, and it was just it just didn't work, I think. But maybe it did work, and that's why he like played a very passive move in response, or maybe he just just didn't call my bluff, right? But I managed to get like a really big initiative on that side of the board. I then played really well on all kinds of sides, and there was this moment where like I dropped a lance, and it looks like a good move, but then he found like a really nice way to deal with it. But then I found an even nicer way to rebut his nice way, and it was just very impressive, and I managed to win, and I was like, oh, let's go, like two for two. So I win the second game. Okay, let me make sure I've got enough charge. Okay, I've got enough charge. Yeah, so I win the second game, and at this moment, another friend of Nico and the sensei came over. I think his name was like Mono, and Mono has the coolest job ever because he owns a barber shop where at night it becomes a shogi bar. So how sick is that? Like all of the barbershop equipment are all on wheels, and he just like wheels it in different like rearranges the small shop essentially to convert it from a barbershop to a bar, and it's like a shogi bar. So coolest thing ever. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to check it out because I mean, I met up with Nico pretty late, and we had different plans and stuff. It just didn't work out. So yeah, I ended up playing the owner of the barbershop, right? And again, a very, very strong player. And, he's got like a very like freestyle kind of style. And I could tell he was coming up with all kinds of like interesting like Tsuji, basically like interesting like middle game combinations, which I just wasn't seeing at all. But somehow, like, I was just flowing with like which moves intuitively felt right, and calculating as well. And I just dealt with everything really well, and I managed to win. I managed to beat him as well. So I beat the sensei, I beat the barbershop owner, I beat this bartender earlier on. So I was on fire, right? And at this moment, Mono makes a call, right? And like Nico's like laughing because basically Mono is like calling the best guy in Osaka that he can call at like, midnight or like 1 a.m. in the morning, being like, dude, there's like someone who's really sick at shogi, like come over to the bar now and play him. I'm just like thinking, shit, I've had like 3 lucky games. Like, he's gonna make this whole trip, come all the way here and just completely destroy me. And it would just be so pointless. But I was just like, you know what? Whatever, I've won these last 3 games. Like clearly I'm on a hot streak. And at this moment, while the call's happening, like the sensei guy is like, yo, let's play another game. Like I want one more game. And we play. And this time, like I get like a setup, which is probably one of my strongest setups that I have in shogi. And I played a phenomenal game. And I won. And at this point, the sensei was like, damn, this guy's actually really, really good at this game. I don't know, I was probably on like my 3rd beer, 4th beer at this point, just, sipping, vibing to the music, just like everything flowed so nicely. Like I wasn't making any mistakes. Every move made sense. Every move was like with tempo, with initiative. And I mean, this is how you're supposed to play Shogi. Like you play with a lot of initiative. And oh, one thing I should clarify actually, the bartender at the start when I had this first game, I actually blundered. But I just put on a brave face and was like, you know what? I'm just gonna pretend that it's like a sacrifice, and like I'm just gonna go for it. And yeah, it really unnerved him, and also it turned out actually to not be as bad of a move as I thought. Like I lost a lot of material, but I had a huge initiative, and it actually ended up working out. So yeah, things are just working out really nicely, like in my games. And at this moment, after I beat the sensei, I had a rematch with Mono, and I think Mono like I guess like maybe he was drinking a bit more, like chatting. I mean the semi-professional came, the semi-professional who they called up like the best person in their like group, came over, so he was like chatting at the same time. But basically, I was basically just locked in for all of my games, and I managed to beat Mono again. It was probably my most convincing win of the evening. And it was just all working. I mean, like this game was my first pure Urashino game, and he even played like this anti-Urashino line, which normally I get nothing from. But somehow I was just finding ways to make it work. Like I don't know how. Like it was just going really well. And then it was finally my turn to play the semi-professional, and yeah, basically I had not eaten at this point. Like I'd had lunch, and it was like 2-3 a.m. and I hadn't had dinner yet. So actually Nico went out to buy some takoyaki to bring to the bar and just eat that. And I played the semi-professional, and the funniest thing was like at the start of the night, like I was telling Nico like, oh man, like fingers crossed no one plays primitive climbing silver against me, because that's like the one opening which I haven't been able to get to grips with, because I played in like the Kansai Shogi Center, where I played a bunch of like grubby juniors, and they completely destroyed me, right? Because they all played this primitive climbing silver, and the defensive setup that I went for, it's simple, but it's just ultimately bad. And these juniors were just eating me up and just killing me. And I had some bad trauma with this experience, right? So I was just like, oh, please no one play this primitive climbing silver. And the semi-professional plays it, and I was just like, I'm actually gonna be so embarrassed when I lose in like 20 moves, just get completely crushed. So I was, but the thing is, like, actually on the train journey to Osaka, I was already thinking a bit about how would I try and deal with this primitive climbing silver, and in my head I had some ideas of like maybe how I can combat it, and I was just like, screw it, I'm just gonna try it. Like clearly my old setup is garbage, I'm not gonna play that against a semi-professional. So I tried this new kind of idea of how I can deal with the opening. And it actually worked. Like to some extent. And I mean, after the game, we were like, analyzing this opening a lot more and just trying to get to the bottom of like how well it actually works. And I've in this restaurant that's 24 hours. Like it's a fast food restaurant I've been in. Like I've been looking at some of the lines and trying to understand, and like some of the combinations are crazy, but it kind of works. It's definitely going to be my main setup against primitive climbing silver. Like I no longer fear it, I think. But we had an insane game, and unbelievably I managed to win it. Actually insane. Like everything was really tight. I mean, like there was this big combination where I basically found this like really super move which basically just gave me like a big initiative that I just had to keep up until the end of the game. And these games, like I was just finding checkmates. Like it was just beautiful stuff. And it wasn't like I was calculating. It was like, I basically felt like I have to go for this, otherwise I will have to retreat. And because I have to go for it, I just have to go for it. And then luckily, I don't know if it's luck or if it's just like, good intuition, but the checkmates were there and I just had to find them, and I was finding them. I mean, actually, the way the game ended with the semi-professional, I got a checkmate, but it's funny that there were like 4 different candidate defenses that he could choose. And one of the candidate defenses, I actually didn't see the most optimal way to play, but the semi-professional did, and that's why he didn't play into it. But the one he did choose, I did know how to finish it off, even though it was complicated. And yeah, I managed to get the win. So, I mean, this guy probably is like similar in shogi as I am in chess. Like at least that's what the vibe I got. Like he seems to be playing like even like some professionals and stuff to get warmed up and stuff. So, I mean for practice, right? So, yeah, basically, yeah, I won 6-6. I was drinking beer throughout the whole thing, and I think there are a few factors that really impacted my play and my opponent's play, and I think one crazy um, aspect of why why the shogi went so well for me was because I think this introduction that they all got, they felt that I was a chess professional, right? And if I'm a chess professional, at least on a shogi level, this is the equivalent of like grandmaster, right? So I'm basically coming in there. They're thinking like I'm a grandmaster. It's like, I don't know, it's like some guy from Japan comes over and I introduce him as a shogi professional. And I explain that this is basically the level of like a grandmaster in chess. When you play them, that's obviously going to be playing on your mind, right? So I think like there was like a level of like uncertainty and fear, and also I mean my style in shogi is very very unique anyway. I mean as coming from a chess background, it's going to naturally be unique. But then I even go one step further and just play like a very unique style where I never open the bishop's diagonal, which is like almost like always done in like most legit openings, but I don't play the legit openings. It's the same with my chess, right? I play like these kind of unique kind of weird structures and just try and master them. And I think I'm so glad that I chose this route with my shogi, because I mean I felt like I had this practical advantage. I felt like all the experience from like playing in Sapporo as well, like there's so many moments where like I would have made a bad move in the past, but I made a good move tonight, and everything just worked out. It was unbelievable. So one thing that feels really good is that like with chess nowadays, I no longer kind of play like this attacking spirited style, because for some reason it just doesn't work as well in chess as it does in shogi for me personally. And yeah, I think with chess as well, because like so often I have so much on the line, at least for my own mental, that I can't even allow myself to like play in this style successfully. But with shogi, because I've got nothing to lose and I'm just like just allowing this intuition to flow, I could pull off some amazing stuff, right? So it feels really good to be able to do this, and definitely like I'm so glad that like I picked up shogi all those years ago and kept with it to some extent, because definitely it's such a nice alternative to chess to have alongside as well, just as a kind of like casual thing. And I think definitely like I mean, unfortunately I can't play in the Europeans this year because it clashes with a chess tournament, and I think I don't even want to in some ways, because like I'd rather just keep shogi as casual as possible and just focus on when I play chess tournaments I get really serious and really lock in, and I don't really want the shogi to be affected by that. But all I can say is like I really don't know how I managed to pull off this level. Like there were literally no blunders. Every move like was played with purpose, and I think it's just a mix of several things. It's just like being so relaxed, getting like setups that you feel and you understand, and you've had a few beers and you're just kind of like in the zone, and the pressure's not on me, the pressure's on my opponents. And yeah, that whole thing about being introduced as a chess professional, just playing on their minds as well. It was just a bunch of different things, but it just all went my way. So yeah, pretty epic. I'm gonna catch up with chat now. How are you all doing? Okay, so 1 a.m. in India, yeah, 5 a.m. almost in Japan. Best night ever? Yeah, literally. I mean, best night probably is a bit of an exaggeration, but still, I mean, it was so much fun, and they're so nice as well. Like, just, I mean, the fact that I got given this mixtape from a random bartender, like, so nice, and like, they saved the last piece of takoyaki for me, and they were like, okay, like, please have it, and just just such a lovely vibe, and I mean Japan in general is just like it's just really nice. I mean, like even let's say the fast food joint that's 24 hours that I've been chilling in. I mean, no incentives to like try and kick me out or something. And the crazy thing is like even the bathroom is spotless. Can you imagine a 24-hour like place in the UK having like a spotless bathroom? It's just unthinkable because I mean people just don't give a shit. But in Japan, people are just like looking out for each other and just like taking care of the surroundings. And it's just like a nice it's just nice. That's all I can say. But yeah, like the people, like, so so friendly. I mean, I can imagine like like the guy who owns like the barbershop Shogi bar, or even the guy who goes by Sensei, right? Like I can imagine like in the UK, like you could easily have them like pissed off or tilted or like you know like they're like, oh, who is this punk playing like this random like weird style. um like I can imagine a bit more hostility, but it's just like, yeah, it's just so much respect and so much appreciation for one another. It's just cool. It's just really cool. um I'm watching the 2018 chess Olympiad. That's such a random thing to get into, but respect it. If you can learn something from it, that'd be great. You'll be GM one day, Michael? Man, I don't think so. But I don't need to be. Like, I'm at peace with not making it that far. And, if I can even make, like, any kind of master title, that would already be, like, crazy fulfillment. I mean, I don't know if it's possible, but, I mean, all we can do is try, right? So we'll keep trying and we'll see how that goes. Whom did you beat? I mean, I honestly wish, like, I mean, I can ask Nico for the names and see if I can get more details on their level and stuff, because it'll be cool to know. But I mean, Nico, when he invited the sensei, he thought it was going to be more like a training game. He didn't think that I'd win. So I don't know. It's like I wish I had the games noted down. I mean, they're just so inspired. They're just so inspired. I don't know how. Don't know how. Bro's officially switching to Shogi. Unfortunately not. I mean, I wish I could, but I have too many obligations and I don't know, strings attached to the chess world. I can't. I've tried escaping the chess world once before, and within 6 months I was already back in it. It's just not happening. Did you have a rank above Dan called Michael? Okay, I'm not getting that cocky. I mean, I had one brilliant night. That's about it. Go back to losing to 8-year-olds soon. Josh says, I know nothing about Shogi, but it seems more calculation-based and positional-based compared to chess. So why do you prefer to play chess in a positional way if you're so good at Shogi? Okay, a lot to unpack here. So in terms of calculation, you need better calculation for sharp positions because the positions are more double-edged. Like the games are kind of like ending by checkmate as opposed to like, I don't know, grinding some like small advantage and winning in the end game or something, right? Like the games are decided by checkmate. So there's more sharp calculation to calculate. But in terms of like positional aspects, I would say that there's a lot of positional understanding in Shogi as well. I guess maybe it's more like attacking strategy as a like a focus. But I would say that actually with Shogi, I wouldn't say that my calculation is a strong suit. Like, it's not a strong suit in chess, it's not a strong suit in Shogi, but what is a strong suit in Shogi for whatever reason is my attacking intuition is just really good. And I think it's because like the way that the attacks flow, it makes sense for my brain. I don't know how to put it. It's like, I feel like in chess, there are like weirder, like ways that like attacks don't work. It's like really random, in my opinion, like really random tactical flaws that mess up your attack, right? But with Shogi, because there are fewer long range pieces, and more of the pieces are more kind of like close combat, there's less of that like bullshit kind of defense that sometimes happens in chess. So it's like, I feel like the attacks make more intuitive sense to me, and because of that, then I can kind of trust it a bit more. And okay, it's not perfect either. I mean, it's definitely not perfect, but it's like I can have more belief in it. Whereas like when I would attack in chess, it's like It's often so wrong. This is just the reality. Yeah. Welcome Jevin, welcome Sepsara. Barely 2000, yeah. Yeah. No, I have no idea how good that semi-professional was. I really have no idea. I mean, he knew a lot, and I mean, he was critiquing a lot of my moves, but I just found this one really nice move that just changed everything. And it was the same with my game against Mono. Like, he found like this combination, which I completely overlooked, and it looked like I was just down in material. But then I just found a way to use the worst material that I had in hand to in a really effective state. And yeah, that was just enough. I think like the way my style of Shogi is like I have a slightly weak defense, so I just go all in on the attack, and basically I just have to keep pumping pieces in the attack, and yeah, either it works or I run out of attack and then I just lose. But I feel like with chess it's harder to do that. I mean, you kind of can, but it's easier to run out of an attack, right? Whereas with Shogi, it's like, you get the pieces back, you can find new ways to attack. So I think maybe in that sense, also the fact that I'm such a fighter, a warrior when it comes to chess, like I'm always like hustling and swindling. I think that works out better for Shogi in the attack because you have more chance to swindle and hustle and fight and keep up an attack. Whereas in chess, it's like, if your attack fails, you don't really get the second chance as much. So maybe there's that difference as well. Why my attacking shogi is just so much better than in chess. But yeah, really really interesting. Been listening to a lot of Japanese music lately. So much great stuff. Yeah, honestly, like so many different genres, so much quality. For sure. Yeah, if Nico is watching when he wakes up, I mean, he's got to work today, so he left me at 3 a.m., which I already appreciate. But please link your band in the comments. Like you're welcome to spam. Like Nico's a guitarist, and has a like small indie punk band, which is quite nice. Dan Savage does a bit random, but what's your thoughts on Tony Miles? Have you seen his games? I mean, the only thing I know about Tony Miles is he had that like infamous game against Karpov, right, where he played like St. George and beat Karpov, and Karpov was like really salty about it. That's about all I know. I also know that in Chess for Tigers, there's a very nice game where Simon Webb, the author of Chess for Tigers, gets like an equal rook end game against Tony Miles, and then just thinks that everything is drawn, and then Tony Miles just plays some beautiful moves and wins. So, I mean, that's basically the only exposure I've had, and yeah, I mean, I respect the play, I respect the style. I mean, probably it's less and less possible the more that engines become dominant, and especially the way that people like treat preparation nowadays. But I'm sure like very very strong player, very talented, gifted player, and who knows? I mean, probably is. Chess would be very different in today's age, and who knows what heights he would get. Not too many thoughts about it. I mean, if there's any news articles I can read on Tony Miles, do send it my way, Dan. You should check out Fishman's, my second favorite band ever. Interesting. What's your first favorite? And send me a message like somewhere on like Lichess or WhatsApp or something, Josh. I mean, otherwise I'm gonna forget. Jan says maybe Michael will have another chess identity crisis and become an attacking player. Exactly, but no, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because like that's the thing. It's like when you have, given your 100% at something, then you really find out the true reality about whatever you're giving 100% in. And I gave 100% to attacking chess, and it just wasn't working for me. So I know already that that's just a lost cause, and it's just absolutely terrible for my mental health to even consider such a possibility. So it's not happening. It's never happening. And I think I'm actually very happy with the current style I have for chess. But it's just, it's remarkable that actually there's still some attacking ability and skill within the game of Shogi. So it's just interesting how those like tiny differences actually make a whole lot of difference to my actual ability. Okay, my favorite band is Godspeed Your Black Emperor. Okay, that's a very interesting name of a band. Again, send me the link. I will look into it. Dan Savage says Miles has played this line with black e4 c6, d4 knight a6. Oh, by the way, bishop takes a6, queen a5 check, getting the bishop pair. This is slug theory. It's the same, like c3, knight a3. And if bishop takes a3, you can sometimes take queen a4 and then take the bishop pair. So it's possible. I mean, you can also take like b takes a3 and play rook b1 and get the open file. So this is slug theory. I mean, yeah, c6, knight a6 is literally snail. So e4, c6, d4, knight a6. If white plays knight c3, goes c7 and then d5. Yeah, no, it's the same as the snail. I mean, this is what I like played like many years ago. You basically play like c6, knight a6, knight c7, f6, knight h6, knight f7, and then play in the center in some way. And actually, it's really interesting. Like I recently saw like a game of Steinitz, where Steinitz basically conducted a kingside attack by putting his pawns on. Let me get this right. C3, D3, E4, F3. So basically having a very sturdy center. He had a knight on F2, like the slug, and basically by holding the center solid, I think actually no, it was like a knight on C2, and you know the guy who was making the video on this game was like, oh, you can even reroute the knight to F2 where the center will be even more solid, and you just have this free attack on the king side. I was just like, bro, Steinitz was playing my chess like 150 years ago, and he beat Alaska in this game in a really nice kingside attack. Of course, executing the attack much better than I would. And I was seeing how he was executing, and I was like, yeah, I'm never finding any of these moves. But no, I mean, yeah, this idea to put the knights on these interesting squares. I mean, it's a very provocative, cool way to play, and I mean, like I've beaten several FMs in casual settings with it. Like, strong players struggle with this as well. I mean, it's just so unusual to have to deal with the kind of moves that follow. Looking good. Thank you, Gus. It's almost 5 a.m. 1 minute till 5 a.m. And actually, on that note, I should probably start heading to the station. I've got a flight to catch later. I haven't started packing. Checkout is like 10 a.m. So I don't know. I'll work it out. Something will be fine as long as I make it to the train station and head back. But there should be trains now. But yeah, Jan says, well, if I'm keeping it straight, then your first era was playing normally, second was attacking, and now third era was c3. First era playing normally, I mean, I wouldn't even say normally. I mean, I think my first era as a junior was basically just, being bad at everything, bad at endgames, bad at openings, bad at tactics, bad at calculation, bad at everything, but just having like a lot of classical experience, like playing a lot, and just always hustling for every small idea. And I mean, because I was always worse in my positions, it allowed me to really let loose and hustle, because when you're in a better position, you're trying to consolidate, right? It's a very different like mindset. So I mean, that's really my first era, and I would say like that got me to almost like 2000 national rating, just doing this. And I guess my calculation was actually not bad back then, relatively speaking. And yeah, then second era was kind of like giving up on all that, going full attacking, and also playing correct openings, like playing 1e4, playing Sicilian and Caro-Kann with black, like trying to play like mainline Slav, just trying to be like a real chess player, and realizing that I suck at that. And then yeah, now this third style is kind of like, yeah, just basically mastering unique setups until you feel like you can handle anyone, whoever you face. That's the dream. And it worked well for Shogi. It was working well for chess. So yeah, we'll keep it up. We'll keep it up. I was just being polite, Jan. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Gus. I love you. I love you, bro. Okay. Yeah, you're in that era, bad at everything. Also, you're playing correct openings, so you're merging my two worst aspects together. But you do you, Jan. I've ranted enough at you for your playing style and your decision making with this. What's your peak ECF? My peak ECF was 180 old money, so that's 2050. So it's kind of abysmal. That was probably like 8 years ago was my peak ECF, which is actually embarrassing. But had a lot of ups and downs that led to my rating never going above that. But yeah, we'll see how this upcoming year goes. I mean, I think of course it's going to be grueling, but I have no reason not to give it my best shot. And yeah, we'll just see how it goes. So I think on that note, guys, clearly I'm definitely not looking not looking my best. We should definitely call it a day and get some sleep. So I'm gonna try find a way to get to the train station now. And what a crazy, amazing night of shogi. It's crazy. Like my last day in Sapporo was an amazing shogi experience. Last day in Kyoto, Osaka, amazing shogi experience. So yeah, brilliant game, amazing game, and yeah, damn, feels good to play some attacking shogi and make it work. Incredible stuff. Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it a day. See you around. Okay, bye.